something different. A rant.
What?
Donald Trump versus pro-lifers.
Uh-oh.
And how it could cost him the election.
Fuck.
I'm Jazz Borganzo, and this.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's What's Next. What's up, everyone? Jazz Borganzo, What's Next, your daily dose. Common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Tuesday. Well, what I originally had planned on two different videos. One was about Tulsi Gabbard and her leaving the Democrats. Of course, no surprise there. And also the situation with Mark Zuckerberg and his admitting that he colluded with the Dementia Administration in regards to suppressing information, censoring information in regards to the Hunter Biden laptop, and of course, all the things of the pandemic of 2020. But something a little bit more complex in regards to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance versus pro-life. There's a number of things I've seen over the last several weeks, disturbing trends, in my opinion. Someone who is pro-life, and I'm sure some of you who watch this are too, that, doesn't feel right. Something's not quite right in the air. When you, as Donald Trump, who your signature thing, your signature policy, your signature, during your 4 years was the overturning of Roe v. Wade by bringing in 3 judges who overturned Roe. What have you done since? Outside of, slamming governors who enacted their own pro-life legislature, stepping away from the issue when it's being presented to you regarding your stance on pro-life. And how long did it take? Almost a year and a half for you to finally say, here is what I think about pro-life. And then on top of it, the GOP platform doesn't even mention the sanctity of life in it. These are disturbing trends. But before I go any further, I am going to play a number of clips from Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and one Steve Deace of The Blaze, and then my thoughts. And here we go.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart, or in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. This 50-year battle over Roe v. Wade took it out of the federal hands and brought it into the hearts, minds, and vote of the people in each state. It was really something. Now it's up to the states to do the right thing. Like Ronald Reagan, I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. You must follow your heart on this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is currently, and very sadly, a nation in decline.
You sign it at 15.
Are you talking about a complete ban?
A ban at 15 weeks.
Well, people are
starting to think of 15 weeks. That seems to be a number that people are talking about right now.
Would you sign that?
I would sit down with both sides and I'd negotiate something, and we'll end up with peace on that issue for the first time in 52 years. I'm not going to say I would or I wouldn't. I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that
I
goes
think
too
what he
far?
did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
No, sorry. The only peace on offer here for pro-lifers would be a peace of surrender, and it would be a disgrace to accept that after all the generations of effort to overturn Roe. And the Florida ban that Trump denounces actually shows, like similar legislation in Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia, that it's possible to make serious progress on this issue and still defend it politically if, that is, we have political leaders willing to make the effort.
Would you sign it at
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, and getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people.
It's very clear that they believe they'll still get just 70 or 75% of those people without caring what Lila Rose or Ralph Reed or Tony Perkins think. And then you're going to be replaced basically by the 4 to 5% of the electorate that of points they think RFK is going to bring them in these battleground states. That is his share of the electorate that he was taking from them. That's clearly the plan, and those numbers will work out so that they can just try to avoid talking about this issue altogether because they think it's toxic. And you see this both in the comments from the presidential nominee and the VP nominee over the weekend. Watch this.
What led you to post about women's reproductive rights this morning? Has your stance on abortion changed?
No, very good. I'm very strong on women's reproductive rights. The IVF, very strong. I mean, we're leaders in it. And I think people are seeing that, and votes are being taken, and that's what they've wanted for years. For 52 years, they've wanted votes to be taken by the states, and they wanted Roe v. Wade to be brought into the states. And it's really happening. It's really happening.
Democrats made the case this week and beyond this week that Donald Trump, if elected, will impose a federal ban on abortion if he wins. Now, Donald Trump says he won't, but can you commit, Senator, sitting right here with me today, that if you and Donald Trump are elected, that you will not impose a federal ban on abortion?
I can absolutely commit that, Kristen, and Donald Trump has been as clear about that as possible. I think it's important to step back and say, what has Donald Trump actually said on the abortion question, and how is it different from what Kamala Harris and the Democrats have said? Donald Trump wants to end this culture war over this particular topic. If California wants to have a different abortion policy from Ohio, then Ohio has to respect California and California has to respect Ohio.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, this is concerning.
Okay, my thoughts. I played these numerous clips because they could say it better than I could. You saw the progression from the election to his talk on pro-life all the way through, and then you saw it go the other way. You saw a disturbing trend start to take shape. Him coming down on governors who enacted their own pro-life laws right after Roe got burned. Him slamming him going after them. I'm not saying it, but I am saying it, and then go all the way through to where we are now. Question for me, and a question for a lot of people, is why the running? Why? This is your signature issue. Why would you run from it? When you battled Hillary and you made it very clear to her, you said, hey, I'm bringing in judges. If I become president, I'm bringing in judges who are going to overturn Roe. Boom. That little fire under everybody. So why this? Why go down this route? When the question was asked of you regarding reproductive rights, you could have easily said, hey, you know what? Let's make this very clear. I'm here for defending pro-life. I said what I was going to do, bringing judges in. I did. We pushed it back to the states. Let the states decide. One state says yes. The other state says no. Done with it. Move forward from it. But no, you made it sound like you're playing for the other team, that you're wearing the other team's jersey. Then you got J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, who is pro-life. No. Vehemently no. Donald Trump will not sign a federal ban. No. He will veto. No. We've already been down this road once before. For those old enough to remember, George W. Bush had the Senate and he had the House. He had majorities in both. They tried to pass a federal ban on abortion and to install it into the Constitution, and it got rejected. It got rejected in Congress, not due to the will of the people, but it got rejected in Congress. So that card's already been played. We're not going down that road again. Now, would it be nice? Great. I would love it. As someone who's pro-life, my opinion, I would love it. But the next best thing is to leave it up to the states, because you know which states are going to say yes to it. You know which states are going to reject it. We already know that. There's no guessing about, this state could go either way. No, we already know. We already know all the chess pieces on the board already. But this bothers me because this is your base. This is your base, and you're tamping down your base. You're basically telling your base to sit down and shut up because we got RFK Jr. on our side. We just got Tulsi Gabbard. We're feeling good right now. We're pumped. No. What are the Democrats saying? Three judges. Look at it. Overturn Roe. This is, they're going to destroy your rights. This, that, and the other, all sorts of nonsensical garbage coming out of their mouths because that's what they do. But when it comes to your conservative Christian base, again, let me reiterate, is that instead of pumping them up, you're tamping them down, and you can't do that. Those of us who want to vote for you, and you got those who are still on the fence, who are saying, do I not vote or do I vote for Donald Trump? But this is something I wanted to do for a little while now, like several days, and I never got around to it. I wanted to do it over the weekend. I didn't get to it. And then, of course, this situation hits with J.D. Vance and, of course, Donald Trump's comments in regards to reproductive rights. And so now it was the time to do it. Put it all together. And now, see what you think. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace.